What's up everybody? Welcome to the Stocks channel. My name is Corey and today in the stock market we did see a pullback after we hit that critical price target on SPY. Will we continue to sell off from here? First up, let's take a look at the S&P500 SPY ETF. So let's crack open this chart and see what's going on in the stock market today. Alright, so today on SPY we did drop 0.59% and we did close just below that 5 EMA. So we're right above that previous price target at 446. And it's still possible that will act as support. So to the downside, look for support at 446, the gap close at 443.6, and our 20 simple moving average, which is still our strongest support level, just above 443. Remember that if SPY gets a daily price action close below 443, it will start to look like the market is rolling over yet again, and we could come back down to the 50 EMA, which is just above 436. So we still do have the full bull trend, and we still are well above critical support. So there's no reason to sound the panic alarms just yet. Remember, I always say when we get to one of my price targets, it's always possible we see a pullback, and eventually that pullback could lead to a correction. So without fail, we get to 449 and we're starting to pull back. So you now need to be cautious and you need to watch the price action closely, and you need to continue to watch that critical support level. As long as we're above 443, which is our critical support, and we still have the bull trend, there's nothing to be panicked about, and there's no reason to panic sell out of your positions. If we start to close below 443, then you need to get a little more cautious and you need to start watching that critical support at 436. So right now this is just a pullback and nothing more until proven otherwise, so you need to remain objective. We still have the full bull trend, and pulling back after we hit one of my price targets is completely normal. If we can break back above 449, the next critical level is just above at 451. And notice that these price targets are getting very close together because we are getting to some very elevated prices, and eventually one of these prices is very likely going to lead to a stock market correction. So 449 could have been the top, but we won't know until we see a critical support level breakdown. So just remain objective. Remember that I said you want to raise cash as we hit these price targets, so hopefully you heeded my warning and you did protect yourself from this pullback. If you didn't, it's no big deal. Just make sure you do have an exit plan if we do see the market rolling over. So right now, everything is still looking bullish, and we didn't really get a huge volume wave of selling, which is normally what you need to see to trigger a stock market correction. We did see an increase in volume on a selling day, but overall, this is still relatively weak volume, and it just doesn't look like big money is dumping out of their positions at this time. Therefore, I don't think this will become a stock market correction. Everything is subject to change and we'll take it day by day, but right now this still just does look like a stock market pullback until proven otherwise. On the NASDAQ 100 triple Qs, we were down 0.64% today, and again we did pull back after closing 3 days in a row above the upper Bollinger Band. It's completely normal to pull back after you get overextended, and there's no doubt 3 days above the upper Bollinger Band is getting a little overextended to the upside. So we did see a pullback back to the 5 EMA, which is completely normal price action, and we did find support and close above that level. We still have the full bull trend on the triple Qs, and our price target is still above at 376, and we have not yet met that target. So if we're going to bounce from here, look for the triple Qs to get to 376 around the same time that SPY gets to 451. Those will be your next critical resistance levels that could lead to another pullback or even a stock market correction. But for the time being, this is still a very strong bull market with a very strong bull trend. Look for support on the triple Qs down here at 370 and 369, and the gap close in 20 simple moving average of support at 368. You need to see the triple Qs closing below 368 to start looking like the NASDAQ 100 is starting to roll over. So for the time being, this is still a very bullish looking chart, and there's no reason to panic just because we get a little bit of a pullback. On the Dow Jones, we were down 0.57% today, and we see the Dow Jones closing right on top of critical support at 352. This will be a very strong test for the stock market, because if we don't see the Dow Jones bouncing off of this critical support level, that will be very telling for the rest of the market. We still do have the full bull trend, and we're closing right on top of critical support, and we almost completely closed the gap below at 351.8. So this will be a very strong test and something I want you to pay attention to going into tomorrow's trading session. Look for a strong bounce in the Dow Jones to confirm this bull market is still strong and the bull is still bucking, or we're going to close that gap and continue to head lower, possibly back down to the 50 EMA at 349. To the upside, still look for resistance up here at 355, the previous all-time high at 356.5, and the price target at 359. As long as we still have the bull trend, you still want to try to buy the dip until we do get a critical price action close below one of these support levels. On the Russell 2000, we were down over 1% today, and of course we see the Russell 2000 getting rejected at that resistance level at 224. Remember that the Russell 2000 is trying to climb out of a bear market, which is not going to be easy while the Russell 2000 is still getting bear rated. Remember that the bears are going to short the Russell at resistance until it can break out of this bearish looking trend. So right now we're starting to lose the bear trend, but that doesn't change the fact that the Russell 2000 was at that critical resistance. We see it getting rejected and closing back below the 50 EMA, but still holding up above that 20 simple moving average. So your critical support levels on the Russell will be at 220 and 219, and below 219 it's very likely we close the gap at 216. To the upside, look for that strong resistance at 222 and 224, and the bulls need to get a price action close above 224 to start scaring away the bears, and then we could see the Russell 2000 running to 227 and possibly 230. But for the time being, be cautious on the Russell 2000 because it still does have a lot of bearish price action, and it could be very close to going back into a full bear trend. On the ARKK ETF, we were down 1.55% today, closing back below all the moving averages, and we're very close to having the full bear trend on the ARKK ETF. Remember, we just need that 20 simple moving average to cross below the 50 EMA, and the ARKK ETF will be in a full bear trend. Look for the downside gap close as possible support at 116, and below that we have support at 115.5, 114, and 112.6. To the upside, we need price action back over that critical resistance at 120, and the next resistance levels will be 123 and 125. So right now, ARKK is just like the Russell 2000 with no trend in either direction and bearish looking price action with a large gap below that still needs to be filled. So look for possible more downside in ARKK if we can't close back above 120. On the VIX, we did see a spike today going up over 12.3% and closing back above 18.2. Remember, this is completely what you expect to see during a stock market pullback. We could see the VIX getting all the way above 20 and it's still in that stock market pullback territory. If we see the VIX closing above 23, now you're looking for a stock market correction. So watch the VIX closely because if this is just a pullback and we are going into Friday's trading session, which is normally nicknamed VIX Crush Friday, we could see the VIX getting crushed all the way back down to close the gap at 15.7. This would obviously go hand in hand with brand new all-time highs, so look for that potential price action. If we see the VIX spiking above 20, that means this volatile pullback is not yet over, and if we see the VIX over 23, you now want to get more defensive and start preparing for a stock market correction. So watch the VIX closely because it is going to tell you a lot of information that you will need to know. On Bitcoin, we're currently down 3.8% and testing critical support at that 20 simple moving average right around 47,000. We still have the full bull trend, so this will be a very strong support level. If Bitcoin loses the 20 simple moving average as support, you still have support levels to watch for at 45,000 and 43,000. To the upside, we're going to have resistance at the previous high at 49,500 and our price target at 51,000. Remember, if Bitcoin can break above 51,000 while we're still in this bull market, we could start running back to 60K. So look for that breakout above resistance as a very bullish breakthrough that could send Bitcoin back to brand new all-time highs. On Amazon, we were up over 0.5% today, and we see Amazon closing back above 3 of our 4 moving averages and closing above resistance at 33.11. So obviously this dead cat is looking like it's getting another life, and we're starting to see some bullish price action. If Amazon can now close back above 3,400, it will start looking like it can go back into a bull market, which will be great news for closing the gap above at 35.80. So look for this dead cat to get another chance at life if it can close back above resistance at 3,400. If we get rejected at 3,400, it will still look like a potential bear market because we could still have the bear trend and the price action getting rejected at a lower high. So look for Amazon to have a very critical test to break out of this bear market in the very near future. We're seeing a very nice Bollinger Band squeeze, so we could see a big move to the upside or the downside from here. To the downside, watch for support at 33.11, 32.80, and 32.08. On Tesla stock, we were down 1.41% today, and Tesla closed right on top of critical support at that 20 simple moving average right at 701. If we break below 701, look for support at 692 and the 50 EMA at 678. If Tesla starts closing below 678, it will have a very critical test to prevent forming a lower low at that support trend line at 668 and the support level at 658. If we close below that previous low at 665, Tesla will look like it's rolling over and no longer going to be in a bull market. Right now, Tesla is still in a bull market because it's forming higher highs and higher lows, so I have to give benefit of the doubt to the bulls for the time being. Look for a bounce off support and a test of resistance at 715, and above 715, Tesla could run to close the gap at 732. Above 732, our price target is still up here at 765, and we're very close to regaining the full bull trend in Tesla if we can break out above resistance. On Apple stock, we were down just over 0.5% today and closing right on top of that critical support at 147.5. Apple still has the full bull trend and it's sitting right on top of critical support, so it's do or die for the bulls to bounce off this level and try to break out yet again. We need to see Apple breaking out of this wedge, and we need to see it breaking out above 151 to start running to our price target at 156. Remember, as long as we have the full bull trend, the price target is going to remain up here at 156. To the downside, if we close below 147.5, we're looking for support right around 145 and our 50 EMA at 144. And below the 50 EMA, it's going to look like we're coming down to close the gap at 137. So for the time being, Apple still does look bullish, and it's sitting with a bull trend on critical support. So it's very likely it could start to bounce as soon as tomorrow. So look for that bullish price action and bullish breakout. To the downside, you need to be careful below 145 and below 143. Apple will start to look significantly weaker, and that also could signal the rest of the stock market rolling over as well, since Apple is one of those market moving stocks. On the financial sector, we were down about 0.5%, but we still have bullish price action over the 5 EMA and the full bull trend. The industrial sector was down 0.44%, but we still have price action above a positive sloping 5 EMA with a full bull trend. The healthcare sector was down 0.39% today, closing just above the 13 EMA, and we still do have the full bull trend. It could be that the healthcare sector is starting to roll over, but as long as we have the bullish trend, you have to remain bullish on healthcare. The energy sector was down 1.52% today, closing right on top of the 5 EMA, and we still do have a full bear trend in the energy sector. Look for the price action to break back above the 50 EMA to reverse the bearish trend. So jumping back over to the S&P 500, you can see that price target at 449 did lead to a pullback. So from here, I want you to watch the price action at critical support levels to see if we're going to break down further. This could still just be a minor pullback before we continue to the upside, so watch the price target above at 451 if we do break out above 449. If we break below critical support, be cautious because like I said, these pullbacks could lead to corrections and you need to protect yourself to the downside. So stay objective and continue to watch the price action, and do understand you do have the benefit of a full bull trend, which does mean that the bias for the price action is still to the upside. Also, don't forget I have my own trade alert service that only trades TQQQs, and it's called BANC Trade Alerts. It does very well in all market conditions, and it does exceptionally well in volatile markets, which we could be going into a volatile market as we speak. I'm running a 50% off promo code for your first month, so now could be the best time to try out BANC Trade Alerts. You can find out all of the details and how to join in the links in the description below. I also have the Stocks Channel Discord where I do intraday updates and analysis to help you navigate this market and stay on the right side of the trade. If you're interested in joining the Stocks Channel Trading Discord community, you can find out how to join by clicking on the link in the description below. So thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you're crushing this market, and as always, I will see you in the next episode.